Welcome to our video lesson on rounding decimals. Rounding decimals is it's a very important skill that you're going to need in all the grades in the future and in your life. So this is a really important concept to understand. Before we can talk about rounding decimals, you need to know the place values. So here I have a decimal place value chart. You can see the decimal point is in the middle of the chart. To the left of my decimal point, we have the first place value is ones. Then we have tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, and millions. As we go to the left, we are talking about numbers that are in the whole number side. Now, if we go the other way to the right, we are talking about the numbers after the decimal. And these numbers all end in THS, so ths. Now, they're the same numbers as the other way, except for these end in ths. So here we have tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths, and millionths. Hopefully you can see now that we've talked about from converting from decimals to fractions why this ends in a ths. It's not a whole number, so we need to imply that it's a part of something. The only difference is on the right-hand side, well, one of the differences is we don't have a oneths place. We skip that place over on the right. We could jump straight to the tenths place. So that's important to keep in mind. Make sure you have this written down so you can refer to it later. Okay, let's talk about rounding. So here it says round 13 and 78 hundredths to the nearest whole number. When it says to the nearest, that's what's telling you which place value you need to round to. So in this case, it says to the whole number, which means I want to get rid of these decimal places. To do that, I'm going to look at my number line. Here I have 13 on my number line, and I have 14 over here. I'm going to plot 13 and 78 hundredths. So I know that this is 13 right here, so this must be 13 and 1/10. 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10. So I know my point must be after this line right here. Then it's 78 hundredths. So it's not right on the point, it's going to be after the point. So it will be about right here. That's a little big. Right there. Okay. Now let's look at this on my number line. Is this point that I've just plotted, is that point closer to the 13 or closer to the 14? This point is closer to the 14. So this number, rounded to the nearest whole number, is a lot closer to 14 than it is to 13. So we'd say that that is 14. Now, I think most of you probably remember the trick from previous years. You look one spot to the right at the number that's there. So in this case, it will be 7. If 7 is greater than or equal to 5, we round up, because that means that our number is closer to the bigger number on our number line. But if it's less than 5, so it's over here, we round down to the 13. Okay, let's look at our next question here. Round 555 and 566 thousandths to the nearest whole number. Okay, if I look at my number line, 555 and 566 thousandths would be about right. So this is 555, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would be about right here on my number line. Now this spot, although it's closer, this is the middle, this is 55 and 5/10, but this dot is closer to my 556. So I would round this to be 556. And if you use our rule of greater than or equal to 5, if we look one place to the right, so that'd be this 5 here, this is a 5. So that means we'd round up to 556. Okay, let's look at this in a different place value. Last time we were rounding to the nearest whole number. Now we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So it says round 13 and 78 hundredths to the nearest tenth.